waltz, so-called minute waltz of Chopin. Actually has nothing to do with the minute. It was inspired by Madame George Sand's little dog running around after its tail like this. But it's always called minute waltz. So, as a child, I started when I was about 7 years old. I played a lot already because I started when I was about 4. My parents helped me. They liked to play and sing. But then I started having real lessons when I was about 7. But then I studied with the best piano teacher in St. Louis, a man who had studied many years in Europe. And then I started giving concerts when I was about 11.
When you were
and I played all over the place.
When you were 11, you started concerts when you were 11?
Yeah, sure. Playing all over the place, you know. And then I was told it was for the St. Louis Symphony, you know, when I was about 19, I guess. But I gave concerts in various places. And then when I was 21, I went off to Europe. Then I studied with Philippe, the greatest piano teacher at that time in the world. And then I studied with him for 2 years. Concert in Chicago of all Stravinsky works, you know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I also played with Paul Hindemith, who was the greatest German composer of that period. But I played at Yale. He was teaching at Yale then. He came from Berlin, but he was teaching at Yale, and I went up to Yale and I played the first performance anywhere in the world of a great work he wrote for the piano called Ludus Tonalis. It takes an hour to play. And I learned it, and I played it for him and his class and his wife at Yale. And then I played, he wrote a sonata for 4 hands, 1 piano. I played that with him too. Then later in Chicago, this same composer series at Chicago University had a huge concert of Hindemith. And I played there too. I was busy all evening. I played this Ludus Tonalis. That was the first public performance anywhere in the world. The Schnabel and all sorts of famous pianists were sitting there following the music. There were about 3,000 people there, and they all joined. Then I played with the flutist of the Chicago Symphony. I played a sonata for flute and piano by Hindemith. And then we finished the program with sonata that Hindemith wrote for 4 hands, 1 piano. And that was at Hindemith. Then I did a lot of portraits of him too. But I've known a lot of composers. When I was 21, you know Ravel, the great Maurice Ravel. You know him, yeah?
Maurice Ravel?
He and Debussy are the 2 greatest French composers of the 20th century.
Right.
And his Bolero, for example, you know. And anyway, when I was 21, I played in a big concert in Chicago, all Ravel, and I played 3 of the most difficult pieces of Ravel for piano. He talked about them, and there was a huge concert audience, you know. So that's part of my life. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers.